Hello, and welcome back to... Yes, how can I help? I'm at a party. Yes, Alex and I are at a comedy industry Christmas gathering, which is going on all around us, and you can hear quite riotous partying actually in the next room. Somebody actually put in the comments on the last video, in colder weather, would Yes, How Can I Help be better off done with a pint in the pub or nah? And there is certainly an argument that it would be. And here we're sort of straddling the two genres by, in a way this looks like a much more deluxe way of doing it. Normally we're having to tramp the streets of South London. Here we are in glamorous central London, Bloomsbury in fact. But on the other hand, we are two saddos who have torn ourselves away from a very lively party in order to dispatch just 10 minutes of your questions.
It's really weird. You've got to go in like 15.
Also, I have to leave the party really soon, yeah. And also people around us are still at the, like even in this room there are people like doing stuff you do at a party, like shopping. Nonetheless, we set the timer. It will be 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And here we are. Given that there are songs called Where Have All the Flowers Gone and Where Have All the Cowboys Gone, can we assume the cowboys made off with the flowers? No. I think it's dangerous because there are, for example, also there's a song called Where Have All the Good Times Gone. I don't think you can blame cowboys entirely for good times drying up. In fact, a lot of songs are about things which have been lost. I think it is unfair to blame cowboys for all of that. Many songs are about a lost lover, for example. Not all of those people are now, awful phrase, fucking a cowboy. Especially because you don't really get that many cowboys these days. From a distance, someone might assume that I've entertained you so much, which is people have met at a party and you find me so charming that you decided to record everything that I say. Yeah, that's what we're going to tell people if they ask us. Yes, well, if it's so very cold, why aren't you wearing a coat? Exclamation, question mark, and a hat, question mark, and gloves, question mark, and a scarf, question mark. They've absolutely interrogated me there on individual items. Well, a bomber jacket is a coat, it's just a lightweight coat, we might come on to that. It's colder, so I don't know anything anymore because of the freezing fucking cold. Excuse my French. A hat, the thing about heat escaping largely from your head is a myth. Adam Kay told me, couldn't think of Adam Kay's name for it, even though he's the most famous man in the world. Gloves, too fiddly, I can't scroll through it. How would I do this with gloves on? Come on, pal. Unless they were fingerless gloves. I've got to have them scrolling fingers. And then what's the point of fingerless gloves? Don't get me started on fingerless gloves. Scarf, also, waste of time. It's just, you might as well, it's a curtain, it's a curtain for the neck. A scarf is just curtains for the neck. And I have a lovely neck, which I do not intend to hide from the world. Highly important question. I like that as a preface, and from now on, if you feel that your question is important or highly important, I'm very happy with people saying important or highly, the same way that some people mark their emails urgent, which is a dick move. Nobody's more important than anyone else. Highly important question. How many revolutions could I do in a revolving door before the building's receptionist forcibly removes me? Obviously a certain amount depends on the receptionist and how tolerant they are. I think it would take a while for the receptionist to notice because most receptionists are quite sort of bored, or at least in a particular zone, zoned out, you might say. I reckon it'd be several minutes before the receptionist even noticed that the same person was going round and round. Then, as with similar fantasy scenarios we've discussed in this show, I think they would first think they were imagining it, or it was just a series of similar looking guys. After about, well, I would say, if you could do 100 revolutions in a revolving door, I'd be very impressed, but not completely amazed. I think it is possible. And in fact, I'd like to set the challenge. If any viewer, I don't know exactly how you capture evidence of this, if anyone is able to send us a video of themselves going around a revolving door 100 times, we will absolutely put it out on all possible impatient channels, 100 times. I think it's possible. I think the first 10, 20, maybe more, you're going under the radar. Then there's maybe another possible 10, 20 where the receptionist thinks, that can't be right, I'm imagining it. Then into the 50s and 60s, the receptionist
Could they physically stop you?
Well, this is the other thing that
depends how fast you
if
go
I'm the
into it.
receptionist, I'll probably then start to think this guy's or person is mad, but they're not really doing any harm.
Yeah.
Then after about 70, 80, I think they possibly are doing harm now. I should investigate this. Even though I don't know if it would be forcibly removing. I think after about 100, though, if I'm the receptionist, I'm going up and saying, well, yes, how can I help, essentially, and can I help?
But would they have to enter the revolving door to try and stop you? And then at that point...
Yes, and they might end up doing another 100. Well, yeah, it's real sort of real Laurel and Hardy stuff. The idea of someone chasing someone else around a revolving door. So yeah, give it a try. I think a lot of us aren't doing enough with the potential of revolving doors. I'm going to have a drink at half time. Now, I don't think it's 5 minutes yet,
No,
but
no.
I don't think we're sort of a million miles away.
We're not that far off.
How are we? This is my first episode of this, and I'm so confused. Hello. Well, there's actually nothing to be confused about. But very quickly, I just answer all the questions of the world, so that AI doesn't not have to do it. AI doesn't have those emotions, but so that we don't rely too heavily on AI. In the run-up to Christmas, it's important to know another person who's out and out saying their question is important. I admire them. Are mince pies actually nice to eat, or a lot of disgusting offcuts of other goods that are shoveled into some pastry and loaded with enough sugar to barely be tolerable?
What?
Love the show. Yeah, what is right? Hey, listen, mate, and all questions are welcome here, but you are, I'm sorry, a fucking disgrace. And you might not have heard fucking, so I've said it out loud now. Mince pies are really nice, and for sure, there are some foods that are, hi, nice to see you. There's no one there, but I just want to feel like I'm still in the party. I'm just keeping my hand in, party-wise.
I think that's 5 minutes, mate, yeah.
Is it 5?
Yeah, take your sip. Yeah, I'll join you.
Yeah, busy. No, we didn't exactly wind down for Christmas, no. 4 tours on sale this week. Yeah, I know, gluttons for punishment.
5.
Oh yeah, 5. Sorry, whoever the 5th one was. Maybe I forgot my own one. Anyway, no, mince pies are really nice. There are foods which probably, even Yorkshire puddings are meant to have originated by everyone just like gathering up the batter and sort of making the best of it. But they're again really nice. I struggle to think of many foods which aren't nice, and it's certainly including mayo. I think, thinking about it, pretty much all food is nice. And if I had to say what food wasn't nice, I wouldn't be starting with mince pies, all right? So just at least have the dignity, if you're at a Christmas party like this, to look at the mince pies with a bit of respect. Don't be walking, you can't be walking around at Christmas time going, mince pies are gross. What's the matter with you? Oh, Mariah Carey does too many wibbly wobbly bits with her voice.
Christmas trees are too...
Christmas trees smell too fragrant and emotive. Evocative is the word I was after. By the way, there aren't mince pies at this party because it's a posh party, so it's more stuff
it's like
salmon.
cannolis.
Yeah, salmon.
Salmon mini bagels. I mean,
Seems like an obvious question. How cold is too cold?
good question.
It's just not. I think I'd say humans aren't meant to live in the cold, really. And as soon as you're walking down the street and you think, "Ooh," it's that basically. When you think, "Ooh," or when you make the noise, "Ooh," it's too cold. You don't want to sort of tip this onto the carpet, but once you've had the thought, exactly, the carpet is, with the best one in the world, absolutely as cream as can be.
And we're like so in shoes.
What piece of technology are you shocked to see described as old school nowadays? My son has a PS5, a PlayStation 5, and he thinks it's very funny that the first PlayStation wasn't called the PS1, it was just called the PlayStation, because we didn't know there'd be loads more, and he also thinks PlayStation is quite a stupid name, which in a way it is, but it still is called that, it's just they say PS these days. I think any games console, actually any games console, even the Sega Mega Drive being described as old school, a part of me is like, oh come on. But especially when it's like the original PlayStation, or there was another one that was a rival to the PlayStation, but we don't have time now. Almost all computers basically I regard as still being in play. What was the baby Jesus' favourite Christmas song to sing along to on his birthday? It's a trick question. There weren't any Christmas songs then. Obviously, by the time he was 25, there'd been 25 Christmases, but none of the songs, you probably think that like Underneath the Tree by Kelly Clarkson, which is a banger, if you're a certain age watching this, you probably think, oh, that's old. But it's not as old as that. It was the Roman Empire. Jesus didn't know any Christmas songs. I'm sorry, once again, to have to drop truth on you. Are couches just soft benches? If so, at what point does a bench become a couch? Yes, all couches are made by manufacturing a bench and then waiting, but it is literally thousands of years. it's like the way some landscape features are formed by the erosion of rock. Any couch you sit on was a bench for 40, 50,000 years before it was a couch. How long to go, Alex? Also,
1 minute 20.
Alex there dangled a can of beer from his jaws in what was a risky move, and his face was the face of a man thinking, this could be the end here.
Pulled it off, Phil. Come on.
I live in the hilly countryside. I need a new coat for winter. Do you think a summer weight bomber jacket has sufficient protection to stave off temperatures that could kill me? Or look like a fool moaning about cold while wearing it? Well, yes, again, I think I've demonstrated that if you have a bomber jacket,
It's doing nothing.
it's not warm enough. No, you should absolutely buy a proper woolen coat. The wool of an alpaca. It's just you. Not everyone has to have that, but you must. And again, I'd like some evidence. Could you and Alex do an episode on treadmills?
Oh, we had a lot of treadmill comments.
Yes, we could. Yes.
We need 2 though. I mean, I'm not meant to do this.
My wife. Oh, that's Phil again with his wife.
It's
No,
Phil.
we're skipping that. I've done enough damage to their relationship. Your wife, actually, Phil, is getting a little bit hacked off. If you're watching this, Mrs. Phil, it's about time for you to have an honest conversation. Maybe next week, Phil. Hi, Mark. Is it getting better or worse? Or nah? Thank you. Basically, nah. Some things get better. Some things get worse. You just have to keep your head down and crack on. That's my Christmas message. Panic. Very, very quickly. Woohoo! Oh no, that's not. That's just someone pleased that their comment got answered. Mark, I recently bought your 3-disc CD set. Mark, what another outdated technology. Mark Watson makes the world substantially better from a charity shop for 50p or 16p per disc. How does that make you feel? Well, 50p for a piece of work which took me, and Coop actually, many, many hours should be sort of quite insulting. But no, I feel delighted that the work and the CDs themselves have a life beyond what they might have expected because those shows were made probably 15 years ago. And that is a Christmas miracle. Thank you for interacting with the content. Thank you for your questions. Is this the Christmas one or might we get another one? No, not necessarily.
No, because we're doing a live.
Ah, well, yes, of course. Yes.
You've got a lot to plug.
You might be aware there is a YouTube and Instagram marathon live session which will come out on
2 days after this.
yes, it's happening on Thursday the 19th. So if you see this on Tuesday, which depends on how it's getting out on a Tuesday, then we're 48 hours away, maybe less, from that absolute fuckaroony of an occasion. And during that, we'll be doing, among other things, a live, yes, how can I help? How will that work? We don't know. See you there.